why him never stay and take him own advice. Me I go read out when they tell Portia. Right? Opposition leader Anju Oates suggested in Jamaican Parliament that Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller should use Skype for government's international affairs to save on travel costs instead of traveling frequently.
I cannot tell you that. But what is being done is that there is a request before us for an extension of the license that will give them wiggle room, is the word I want to use, so they can secure some financing.
Blessings, ABR family and viewers. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Isabel Rose. And in this one, Anju Oates jets off to Johannesburg, South Africa for some G20 leaders summit, while there is an outbreak declared for leptospirosis in Jamaica, and Jamaica Public Service seeks an extension for their license, which expires in 2027, in order to secure funding to restore light in parishes that were heavily affected by Hurricane Melissa. Please stay tuned for the details at hand. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. ABR family and viewers, we have seen what the passage of a Category 5 Hurricane Melissa has done to Jamaica. We have seen the devastation through pictures, through videos, through cries of children, through cries of adults. We have learned of even outbreaks of diseases taking place currently. And we have also learned today that the Prime Minister of our country, Anju Oates, jets off to Johannesburg, South Africa, for the G20 Leaders Summit. At a time like this, where there is a humanitarian crisis in the country and people need help now, after almost 3 weeks heading into 4 weeks, many communities that are badly affected still not have been reached by the government. But yet still, we have heard of a $8.8 billion to fix or to restore all that has been broken in the country. And this Prime Minister continues to waste taxpayers' money to jet here, there, and everywhere in a critical time as this, when the country is faced with a humanitarian crisis. But let me tell you something. This is the same Anju Oates, when he was in opposition, told a Portia Simpson Miller, so if he ease off for the whole heap of international travels, she can use Skype to speak in other countries and all of that. Now him have whole heap of friends where own all robotics company all over. So till them want to introduce robots in a JCF, them want to introduce robots in the island all over. Right? Them even gone electronic wise to verify people in the whole election process. And even at one point, that system failed. Right? So why, when we have a whole heap of other technologies where video calls are available, why him never stay and take him own advice? Me I go read out when they tell Portia. Right? Opposition leader Anju Oates suggested in Jamaican Parliament that Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller should use Skype for government's international affairs to save on travel costs instead of traveling frequently. This comment was made during Portia Simpson Miller's tenure as Prime Minister between 2012 and 2016, when Holness repeatedly questioned the economic benefits of her official overseas trips. And Portia Simpson Miller overseas travel brought whole heap for trafficking in Jamaica, a whole heap of funds and whole heap of deals for international travel incur in the country. Where your international travels, and when you leave the island, people know say you leave the island. Where your international travels are do for Jamaica and Jamaicans? Hmm? Anju Holness is nothing but a big hypocrite. A big hypocrite. But we will not be silent, because we notice that every time we talk about the moves and the statements of this man, the minions them run out and try to silence people. We will not be silenced. The country already have faced devastation, billions and billions of dollars to restore the country, and you up and down boy you Ghana summit. You couldn't stay down at Jamaica and do FaceTime or whatever so you can see the summit. You couldn't set up something like that. Now, despite the warnings of medical professionals to this current administration as it relates to diseases that could occur after the passage of a hurricane dumping inches and inches of water in our country on the island, and with them moving so slow with the whole relief and recovery process, not clearing certain areas as soon as possible. We heard of leptospirosis being a thing, and some deaths surrounding even leptospirosis. I am not sure if those were fully confirmed, but now we are hearing that those numbers continues to climb. We're at approximately 28 persons now confirmed to have, leptospirosis, and in turn they have declared Jamaica leptospirosis outbreak. These are the same thing with the medical professionals them did a warn about. And I know we hear the Minister of Health come talk about they want to help the people them to bury some of those animals that were killed during the passage of Hurricane Melissa. After 3 weeks, him want to come say no him a bury. Where you go bury? Be bones upon bones you go bury. That makes sense? What other waterborne disease out there where they might not even tell away? People, look out for gastroenteritis coming soon. We see them send out the vector control people, them say them are, fog the places, them and all of that. That still not stop the breeding of the mosquitoes, them when whole heap of water still they all over the place. Right? The drainage system never good from morning and now evening. Be a mediocre work them do. Hire all kind of friends and come below and them shortchange the country pan work, and yet still look at what is currently going on. The people them not know where to sleep. Mosquito bite them up. Leptospirosis, them a drink, contaminated water. We have a general in the ADPEM we can't even answer to some simple questions of how much water being distributed to the affected parishes them in a given day. How much water the people them a get clean, potable water. Can't answer some of them simple questions there. Then what are we paying these people for? The management of this whole hurricane relief and aid and recovery under this administration has been poor, poor, poor. I grade them with an F at this moment. So we heard that the whole restoration of, electricity could take some areas 6 months before them get electricity, right? And we heard the Member of Parliament, Omar Newell, speaking up on behalf of his constituents, wanting some answers in the PAAC meeting a few days ago. And a representative from the Ministry of Energy, the Permanent Secretary, Carol Palmer, revealed that Jamaica Public Service has asked the government to extend its current license, which expires in July 2027. Right? We see the Minister of Energy, Darrell Vaz, did a talk big and tough and mighty, say electricity bill too high and that they might be seeking, other light and power companies to do business with. And basically, seems as if they want to push JPS aside. No wonder why JPS might be working at a very slow pace because what they want the license to extend. But then we hear the opposition personnel calling for a whole revamp of the license and asking that it be no more than 10 years. Whichever company, or if they plan to extend this license for JPS, they must sort it out and do it for no more than 10 years. But I'm going to hear what the permanent secretary basically stated, and then you'll hear from the opposition spokesperson on energy, Philip Paulwell.
Thank you, Chairman. I have a question, but just for context. And I think the context applies across the country. Electricity is life and death. There are constituents who reach out to me losing hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of dollars worth of medication. And they're in a situation where they're unable to replace it. And sometimes I don't get the same sensitivity. Now, last year, before I became a member of Parliament, I was able to get better information from JPS after burial. Now, as member of Parliament, I can hardly get any information. So I have a question. Is the ability of the ministry to push JPS hampered by the fact that a formal notice that their license will not be renewed has been provided? Is there any detection of that? And I wonder whether any light can be shed on that.
No pun intended. PS?
This way. The information we've been given is that they need to secure financing. And because we have pulled on the license, if you will, my choice of words, they are unable to attract capital. And I mustn't say this publicly, should I? The time remaining on the license does not allow them enough time to secure capital so that they can repay within the time of the license. And there is no guarantee that there will be a renewed or new license unless JPS is willing to agree to new terms. And we cannot step back on that. Right? The country has been suffering high price of electricity and all the other things that we've been talking about for years, and we have agreement, approval from Cabinet to push for these changes. So the issue is we are now seeking to see how we can assist and facilitate them securing capital.
Do you mean by that a sovereign guarantee?
Not sovereign guarantee, I cannot tell you that. But what is being done is that there's a request before us for an extension of the license that will give them wiggle room, is the word I want to use, so they can secure some financing.
The Minister of Energy has indicated that he will be making a statement to Parliament in relation to the JPS license. I want to caution both the government and the JPS that in the face of the desperate situation that we now have, that there should be no greater concessions granted to the JPS than are necessary for it to secure funding so as to achieve full restoration of electricity to the grid. I want to remind the country that we have stated our position in relation to a new license. Firstly, we do not believe a license should be granted for more than 10 years. Secondly, we believe that the right of first refusal that the JPS now has should be abolished, and that any new generating capacity being brought to the grid must be subject to full and fair competition. We also believe that those operators who do their business in the special economic zones should be able to generate and to distribute electricity within those zones. We also believe that there ought to be greater regulations governing street lights. There are too many lights that do not work, and there's no proper accountability for them. We also believe that there should be greater consumer rights protection in any new license that is granted to enable consumers to have rights against JPS for damages to their equipment and so on. And we also believe that there should be the seamless implementation of wheeling on the grid at this time. Those are, for us, some of the preconditions to any new license being granted. And we urge the government to indicate to the country next week where we are with those negotiations.
What a bangarang, ABR family and viewers. Please go ahead, share your thoughts in the comment section. Let me say, remember to leave a like on the video. Remember to share out the video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Play your part. Help me to get to 50,000 subscribers. Please and thanks. Get this video to at least 8,000 likes. Stay tuned for more videos. Stay tuned for more updates. Big up on yourself. One love.